Hey everybody, I'm Dan McClellan. I'm a scholar of the Bible and religion, and I recently got this comment on a video asking about Lilith. Now, there's only one occurrence of the word Lilith anywhere in the Hebrew Bible, and that's in Isaiah 34:14. And this is part of a prophecy about how Jerusalem would become desolate and would be the habitation of a bunch of these liminal creatures that occupy the space between the natural and the supernatural, such as Lilith, which is a borrowing from an Akkadian term, which referred to a species of divine being probably associated with female deviant sexuality. In Hebrew, it sounds an awful lot like the word for night. And so it probably also had connotations of female deities that torment men in the night and have something to do with nocturnal emissions and things like that. But if we fast forward to the first few centuries of the Common Era, we have some Jewish traditions that are trying to harmonize the two different creation accounts we find at the beginning of Genesis. One of them runs from Genesis 1:1 to the beginning of Genesis 2:4, and the other runs from the second half of Genesis 2:4 to the end of Genesis 3. And one of the methods of harmonizing the two is to understand them as consecutive acts. So Genesis 1:26 and 27 is the initial first creation of humanity. And then Genesis 2 and 3, the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, is a second creation of specifically Eve, who is taken from the side of Adam. And so according to this harmonization, there was another woman before Eve was created. And if we fast forward several more centuries to somewhere between 700 and about 1000 CE, there's a text known as the Alphabet of Ben Sira, which talks about a bunch of different Jewish traditions. And one of them identifies that first pre-Eve woman as Lilith. So we're combining Jewish traditions related to Lilith with this attempt to harmonize the two creation accounts at the beginning of Genesis. And in this story, Lilith says, I want to be on top. And yes, this is about exactly what you think it is about. And she says, we are equal. I want to be on top. And Adam says, no, you're not fit to be on top. Only I am fit to be on top. So Lilith storms out of the Garden of Eden, and this upsets God, who then sends 3 angels after her to bring her back. And these angels' names are Sanoi, Sansonoi, and Semangaloth. And they come to her and say, you got to come back to the Garden of Eden with us. And she says, not going to do it, wouldn't be prudent. And once more, I'm going to go be responsible for the deaths of newborn babies. But if they have a protective amulet with your 3 names on it, Sanoi, Sansonoi, and Semangaloth, I will have no power over that baby for the first 8 days. And so this is probably an etiological story or an origin story for the use of a patropaic amulet. So a patropaic means warding off evil. So protective amulets that had these names on it, these angelic names that was used for newborn babies. And it was woven into this story that was also combining the tradition of Lilith with the traditional attempt to harmonize those two creation accounts. And that's probably where we first get the idea of Lilith as Adam's first wife in the Garden of Eden, who ultimately voluntarily leaves the Garden of Eden and never comes back. And the fit for this video has been a black and white version of Jim Lee's X-Men number 11.